us getting married, do I have more to gain from this situation or do I have more to lose, especially considering the fail rate of marriage? So it's like I'm going into a casino and I'm gambling. I'm playing a losing game with my livelihood and not only my money. Because that this is another thing that I keep hearing all the time. It's kids too. Men are scared to lose their kids. Because if we get divorced, who you think the judge is going to be more pressed to give the kids to? Let's just be honest.
How can men reduce the fear of losing everything when they get married? Because from kind of hearing what you guys are saying, at any point prior to marriage, women don't have any leverage. Like we can't. A terrorist has some leverage. Like what Logic was saying, there's some leverage that you have. The only point in time a woman would have any leverage prior to marriage is if you get her pregnant prior to marriage. And so you guys have control over that too. So you control whether or not you impregnate a woman. You have control as to whether or not, you want to marry them. Men control whether or not they're going to get married. You have control of finances because you can get a prenup, so I don't understand the fear when you technically have control over every aspect, every step prior to marriage.
Well, it's not so much fear as just sitting back and making like a logical decision. Like I'm sure a lot of y'all up here are in business and different things like that. Before you invest in something, you want to look at all the documentation. You want to weigh pros and cons. You want to like cross all T's and dot all I's before you make that type of decision, right? And going back to what I said earlier, if you literally step back from it and look at it from a logical perspective, we have more to lose getting married than we have to gain because of the fact that we're getting 98% of the benefits from y'all before we are even in a committed relationship. Fuck a marriage. So when you looking at it that way, and it's like, okay, well, I'm already getting everything from you. The only like so from that point, us getting married, do I have more to gain from this situation or do I have more to lose, especially considering the fail rate of marriage? So it's like I'm going into a casino and I'm gambling. I'm playing a losing game with my livelihood and not only my money. Because that this is another thing that I keep hearing all the time. It's kids too. Men are scared to lose their kids. Because if we get divorced, who you think the judge is going to be more pressed to give the kids to? Let's just be honest. So now I got to go from a full time dad seeing my kid every day to whatever the arrangement is now. So men fear that too, along with the money. So again, man, it's more of like a weighing pros and cons thing more so than fear. It just makes less sense to get married if I'm getting 98% of the benefits from you before I even do.
I get that. So let me ask you a question, because Trill, you got married like when you were 5. Like you've been married for a long time, right? It's an exaggeration, but you've been married. When did you get
27. I got married when I was
27? So
27.
did you think that you were financially ready for marriage? You okay? So
Yeah, definitely. Well,
anybody else is married on the panel? Men, Logic, you married?
Yeah, I'm married.
What? Bye. Goodbye. You are not married.
Pull
I'm
your
married.
terrorist set then. Let us see it. Let us
Let
see
me,
it.
yes.
Pull your
What
terrorist.
terrorist? Right. He didn't choose a terrorist.
And just
Sam.
talking about terrorists, I have to say, and I'm gonna play the devil's advocate. Men can be terrorists too, and that type of man, it has some narcissistic traits that is a form of intimidation. So know that there's some terrorism on the men's side as well. So I just have to throw that out there.
I want to throw out there too that it's not just finances that we're worried about. In that same line of terrorism, there are, in my opinion, three S's that we have to worry about in way of terrorism from women: sex, sickness, and social interaction. And I'm going to tell you what I mean. Women are in control of the sex in the marriage. If she decides when she's upset with you that she is going to withhold that, she absolutely does so. And you are locked into this marriage. So now you're sexless until she decides that you're not. Because if you go outside that marriage, well, then that's when you dealing with, she can take your ass to the courts and hang you out to dry. A black man coming into the court, we ain't got a chance. So
Not
it's
if you have
almost
that prenup.
most of them aren't willing. They're not. That's an attitude. That's another. That she's just gonna get pissed off. It's not. I understand there's some sisters on this panel that's willing to sign it, so they say, but most of them, no,
She's just calling your
no.
bluff. You have to stick with it. Like, listen, I'm not marrying you unless you have a prenup, and walk away. Don't be afraid. See, y'all get all y'all. She has the upper hand, obviously.
They ain't got no faith in this.
It's
not
about
put
faith.
your big man pants on and just walk away.
So what I'm hearing is that the men have the power before the marriage, and y'all feel like the women have more power after the marriage.
Right.
Okay.
And so even when we know that men, I'm gonna take you to the sickness lane. We know that men typically we're the ones we're dying earlier. We tend to have more health problems and complications. You rely on her. She your next of kin now. You rely on her exclusively to take care of you.
But
How does she treat you when she got an attitude? You getting older, you done broke your leg or some shit, and now she got an attitude. You get your cripple ass up and get the shit yourself. You know what I mean? And you got to deal with that type of shit. Because we know, I'm sorry, there may be some terrorists on this panel. We know how it get.
But
You know
what
what I
about
mean?
the nurturers on the panel?
Yeah, they like to say
we gotta say get that shit.
they like to say all women are nurturers. I don't know.
Not all
of them. But
you have
listen,
some terrorists.
Who about to let you have a broke leg? I got married to you and let
They
you
say, get
hobble
that
to
shit.
something.
Let me just say
When they get an attitude, it's a different person. That is why you need the prenup.
And get that shit over there.
Sick or broke a leg prior to being married.
Logic. Let me put my finger the right way. Logic.
Yes, ma'am. I just want to drop a terrorist fact, right? And this gonna.
We don't want to hear it.
Okay, there you go.
Let him drop the facts, Shantae.
Go ahead, Logic.
Go ahead, drop it.
Hey, salute King Rio, bro, because I'm gonna add the S's in my terrorist. Link.
Go ahead.
All right. Yes, only reason I know we got terrorists on this panel right here because red solo cups that's doubled up is a sign of a fucking terrorist. And I just seen it on this panel multiple times. I like, you ain't got one glass cup in your house?
You don't come for my friend.
Don't come for me, Logic, because you over there drinking a can of Michelob beer. Stop it.
No, baby, no. Modelo, baby. No, yeah,
Michelob.
He was double fisted with a Heineken and a Modelo. I'm kind of, I'm questioning your judgment.
And I do have glasses. I like to drink my liquor out of a solo cup. Thank you.
And that's
mind your business. That's right, Trill.
I'm not straw. But Trilla, man, though, look, I'm just saying, look.
So that make me less of a lady because I'm drinking out of a solo cup?
Look, because see, y'all even know how to put y'all know how to put water inside. When you got the double cups, y'all put some water in there so it keep the shit insulated. I know you know that. See,
I don't. I've never heard of that.
Stop.
Swear to God, I've never heard of that.
Let me see the middle of that solo cup.
It ain't nothing in the middle of my solo cup but some juice from when I poured it back and forth to mix it right.
Oh, no, you did it. Now she uses the other cup as a mixer.
I do. That's the reason. That's the whole point of the double up cup. I used to be a bartender.